Hi everyone, this is Nikki Rowland and today I have a layout for Simple Stories. I'm using the Colour Vibe collection today. Colour Vibe is really cool. I really love the way the products have been released. There is cardstock, or it's more like pattern paper, and it's solid colours. It's plain on one side and the other side is a lovely kind of dotted tone-on-tone dot. So it's really usable pattern paper. I believe it's called cardstock, but it's very similar to the pattern paper. So that is one fabulous product, and it comes in so many different colours, loads and loads and loads. And it's been divided up into different collections. So we have things like brights, I don't know if we have bolds, but definitely brights, pastels, and then we also have spring, winter, fall, summer. I'm using I've picked out the summer collection today because I have a summery photo that I wanted to use. And as well as the cardstock in those colours, they've now brought out, Simple Stories have now brought out matching embellishments. Originally we also had, apart from the cardstock, we also had the foam alphabet stickers, and we also had the little sticker book alphabet stickers as well. So and now this has been expanded, and they've now released buttons, chipboard bits and flower bits and enamel dots. So all of those things matching in each of those collections that they've divided the cardstock up into. So you can buy the cardstock in packs of those colours, and then you can buy all the coordinating accessories. So these are fabulous to add to your existing collections, but they're also brilliant to use on their own. So you can see that I am concentrating on the flower bits. So I've got 2 bits of white card, and I have trimmed one down and stuck it on top of the other. I like to have a border on my layouts, but I really wanted a white background because I wanted the Colour Vibe products to pop. I've put out a whole pack of flower bits from the summer collection, and I've sorted it all out into big flowers and little flowers, and I've layered them on top of each other. So you can see there that I've got the big pink ones, and I've layered them with the slightly smaller pink ones, and then I've got another pile of pink there that I'm going to continue. So basically there are quite a lot of layered flowers in here. There's some circles in these packs as well. You can see some on my desk. Yeah, it's just great that the flowers work so well. They layer up and make just beautiful embellishments. They're spotty on one side and plain on the other. So again, very similar to the cardstock. In fact, I'm sure that's what they're made from. Okay, so within this collection, the flower bits was all the flowers in 5 of the 6 colours, and then the other colour was the green, and all the leaves were in that colour. Clever, see what they did there. So I have spent a little bit of time sticking my flowers together and then arranging them onto my layout together with my photo. Now my photo was damaged. My selfie printer that's been going for about 10 years finally gave up the ghost and is no more. So these are the absolute last photos it printed. What happened is the bottom edge of the paper, or the bottom edge of the photos, had no colour in it, or very little. It was only, out of the 3 colours, it only had 1 or 2. So it was a very strange looking red strip at the bottom of these photos. So I've just trimmed them down, I've cut the bottom bit off completely. So it has a raw edge at the bottom, and what I thought I would do is just trim off the white border and remount it. Actually I trimmed off the bottom damaged section of the photo, and then I was just able to slot it in, and I could slot it around my flowers and then cover up that raw edge at the bottom with flowers. So it didn't really matter, so I just left it like that. I haven't mounted it on anything, it's just been tucked in there, and so you can see that I've spent quite a lot of time arranging my flowers and layering them together and then sticking them down and then adding in all the leaves. And by the way, with the leaves, I pinched them all first. Yeah, each leaf I just pinched in half to make them have more dimension. And I did that with pretty much all the petals on the flower bits as well. Now, the flower bits I have stuck together, as in layers, with foam pads, and then I've even stuck them with foam pads to the layout as well, or some of them are on foam pads and some of them are just stuck flat with regular tape. Now I'm adding some buttons, again I've got the summer buttons. and I've just pulled out one of every colour except the green, because the green doesn't have its own section on the layout. I've just gone for one of all the other colours, and I'm just tying through some twine. Now, I'm lucky that I have a extensive collection of twine, so I managed to just about find a colour in each of these colours to match close enough. You know, it might not have been a perfect colour match on some, but pretty good. So I've got the pink tied through with a bow on the pink button, the red tied, actually it's more of a coral colour, my thread, my twine, but it looks okay, tied through the red section, yellow tied through the yellow or mustard, and then turquoise is a bit more tricky because I didn't have a solid turquoise colour, and the blue is more of a navy blue rather than a normal, like, I don't know, what colour could we call that? Royal blue, is that right? Anyway, so, but it looks fine, I'm happy with that, it's good enough. And then I didn't have a turquoise twine. I only had white and turquoise, and it just didn't look right. I didn't like it. Everything else was solid colours, so that had to go. So I then went through my embroidery floss and found some perfectly matching embroidery floss. So tied it through with a bow with that. Could not find the end of this this thread. So annoying when that happens. This video is speeded up ×4, so you probably at least a minute that I spent looking for the end. Didn't see much on the video, but okay, so just tied that through. Now, another little tip that I'd like to give you is, well, first of all, I'm sticking my buttons down with glossy accents in order that they will stay. I don't like my buttons to be naked, i.e. not to have anything tied through. And then when I do tie stuff through, sometimes I find that the bows come undone at a later date. So I tend to put now a little bit of glossy accents or any wet PVA glue onto the knot, and that will stop them from coming undone at a later date. You can also do that on the ends of any thread as well, and that will stop it from fraying. Okay, so I'm now going through the huge pack of chipboard bits. These packs are incredible. There's so much in them, and they're really generic too, so they'd be so good to mix and match to other collections as well. They have little like nameplate type things. They have banners, they have tags, they have arrows, lots of different styles. They have stars and hearts, and they have frames. So there's a whole load of stuff in there that is really, really usable. So I've just, ultimately I don't have a huge amount of room left on this layout to add too much more. And I don't want to detract from the original design of having that all big bunched areas of colour at the top. So I'm just layering colour on colour. Now, behind the photo, I've added a few of the frames in the right colours. And they're quite small, so they don't like frame my whole photo or anything. But I like frames to be tucked behind my photos to act as layers. So that's what I've done. And now I'm adding chipboard hearts. I could have gone for stars, but I went for hearts this time. And I'm just dotting those over the area of colour as well. And I'm raising them all on foam pads. Now, these chipboard bits are not stickers. They are just plain chipboard. So you could stick them down with tape or a wet glue, but because chipboard is very is not flexible, I tend to stick anything chipboard down with foam pads, because that way you get the flex. So even though the product itself is not flexible, once you stick it down with a foam pad, it is. So because what I find is when I use chipboard, even chipboard stickers, even if I reinforce them with additional glue, you move the layout, and if the layout bends at all, the chipboard, because it's not flexible, just pings off. So I get around that a lot by adding them with foam pads. So now just coming in with the enamel dots, I've actually realised afterwards that I've grabbed the brights. I was wondering why the colours didn't quite match, because I have got like an orange in the brights pack that I'm using. I was like, well, that's not in this collection anyway. Then I realised that that's what I'd done. So just ignore me. So yes, I didn't have, because I used that colour, I didn't have the dark blue, so I just grabbed some gems that I had in my drawer, and I've just popped those. So I put all the gems and the enamel dots in the middle of the flowers, because I didn't have any of the dark blue ones enamel dots. I got the wrong packet out. I was just like, oh, this is a bit weird. It's funny that it doesn't match up. And I realised later that that's why. So silly me. And now I've reached for my collection of Colour Vibe alpha stickers, and I've just gone for a really simple word, fun, because we were out at a restaurant when we took this photo, and it was actually a really amazing tropical themed, like jungle themed restaurant. So the big bunches of flowers were ideal because there was all these tropical flowers all over the restaurant. So it was just perfect. But this particular photo is of my husband and my son, my little boy. Both have got their sunglasses on upside down. So they were just being a bit silly. So, well, Theo always puts his sunglasses on upside down. It's quite an amusing thing. It happens every time, so that's why my husband then turned his upside down as well to be the same. So we all had a lots of laughs about that. So I'm just writing out that little story there with my journaling pen, and then I'm going to finish off with some splatters of white paint. I've just tucked the date into one of the flowers as well. So yeah, just going to go for some white paint splatters. I'm going to go for some big paint splatters. I'm feeling brave. It's a large area to cover. I want white splatters all over that coloured area, and then I might go in with some smaller splatters in a paintbrush in a moment. Oh no, I'm not going to. I'm just going to leave it like that. There you go. So that is that layout finished. It was really easy and fun to make. I actually really love how it turned out, and I wasn't sure about not having like a themed collection with other embellishments, but this was brilliant. It was great. You could just focus on the colour, which is kind of the point. So thank you very much for joining me today. That was Nikki Rowland for Simple Stories using the Colour Vibe collection.